Prometheus is the result of a collaboration between three major powerhouses, Ownboard, Power, and MBS. Each company brought its absolute best to create the Prometheus electric skateboard. So how good is this board after combining parts from three separate companies? There's also a fourth, lesser-known company working in the shadows, providing ESC hardware to Ownboard. Apparently, it's so good that it made Ownboard ditch Hobbywing for the new Jason ESC. Do they all combine together to make the ultimate board? The first thing that stood out to me, like an elephant in the room, is the drastically noticeable increase in raw power output during acceleration. With great power comes great instability during hard takeoffs. I experienced wobbles and twitches with the stock setup during my acceleration tests. I want to stress that these wobbles are caused by the immense forces acting on the trucks during takeoff acceleration. It is a testament to Prometheus's newfound increase in power, not because there's something wrong. The MBS Matrix 3s are amazing trucks, but they come out of the box in the loosest settings, suited for low-speed turning and carving. If you want to take advantage of all this massively increased torque, I recommend moving the bushings from the inner slots to the outer slots. This will drastically increase stability, similar to changing bushing hardness up to 85A. You can still carve well, but this new setup will allow you to comfortably unleash the full power of the Prometheus without the acceleration wobbles. And my god, the torque on this board is extremely wild. I give it a 9.5 out of 10 in torque. And this is achieved with huge 8-inch wheels. I can't even imagine what 6-inch wheels might feel like. Since we're on the topic of acceleration, the Prometheus is powered by the same 13S5P Samsung 50S battery pack as the Ownboard Zeus Max, but the Prometheus feels noticeably more powerful. This is thanks to the new Jason ESC, which can now handle up to 90 amps of current. For those wondering who Jason is and why Ownboard switched from Hobbywing, Jason supplies ESC hardware to several electric skateboard companies, such as Acetec and B1. This explains why the remote interface between Acetec and the Prometheus looks so similar. It's also why all of my Acetec boards and the Prometheus are the only boards that struggle to stay completely still on the slope with the brakes fully engaged. It's a pretty big indicator that these are the same ESCs, as no other brands I know of does this. Of course, there are software tweaks and performance curve adjustment differences, but Jason ESCs are known for being smooth, responsive, and maintaining a strong wireless connection. However, I have some concerns about their reliability, as I'm on my third Jason ESC on one of my Acetec boards. But that was from a year ago, and my hope is that further improvements have been made. Well, that's why I'm here, to test these boards not just in the short term, but also in the long term. So far, the Prometheus is extremely smooth when you want it to be, and takes off like a rocket when you need it to. I'll check back in 6 months and let you know how reliable this new ESC is. The new MBS Matrix 3 trucks are the first major piece of collaboration for the Prometheus. The truck measures 280mm in length with two 70mm axles for a total length of 420mm. The truck is made from 6061 T6 aluminum, a strong aerospace-grade metal known for its excellent strength-to-weight ratio. When adjusted correctly, the Matrix 3 performs like a double kingpin truck with ultra-sharp turns, but it can also be dialed in to provide high-speed stability like a reverse kingpin truck by either upgrading to high durometer bushings or simply readjusting the shock positions to the outer positions. I'm really excited about this highly customizable design, as it allows riders to ultra fine-tune their trucks according to their specific riding needs, such as speed, turning radius, and rebound. The axles are fully swappable as well. You can buy longer 50mm axles to decrease the width of the trucks. MBS has also made a longer version of the truck, but it comes with the shorter 50mm axles. MBS has created a comprehensive video covering every design change package they made for the Matrix 3. It's so informative that instead of summarizing it, I'll just direct you to that video below. And if you have any questions on these trucks, MBS has already made a video on answering your questions. The shocks are recommended to be tightened with only 2 full turns of the hex key. Once you go past that, you need to change the bushings. At first, I was skeptical, so I put it to the test. I made 3 full turns on the white bushings, and the end result was that these bushings seem to lose a large portion of their rebound capability and have a hard time returning to the upright position if you over-tighten them too much. So yeah, be sure to follow this guide carefully when making shock adjustments for your truck. If you still find yourself needing to tighten the shocks after 2 full turns, either upgrade to a new durometer or move the positioning of the shocks. Speaking of shocks and turning, I do find the wheels grinding against my rear foot quite a bit. Both the left and right wheels rub against my shoes when making turns. I don't have large feet, my shoe size is 9.5. If, like me, you prefer placing your rear foot all the way back, you might experience the wheels grinding against your foot quite a bit. My current solution is to visually confirm that my foot is squarely centered on the deck to minimize wheel bites. I think this is happening because the board is able to tilt and lean harder than other channel trucks. To reduce this happening, you can cut back to smaller 7 or 6 inch wheels, put stiffer bushings in the rear, or extend the length of the trucks by getting longer axles. At this point, the Limb Power gear drive has to be one of the most widely adopted gear drives to date, and there's a good reason for that high adoption rate. It's reliable and well built. The whole unit is enclosed in 6061 T6 aluminum, the same aerospace grade high strength alloy used in the Matrix 3 trucks. This gear drive uses a 53T wheel pulley and a 13T motor pulley, resulting in a 4.3 gear ratio, hence the name V4.3. Aside from low maintenance and efficient power transfer, my personal favorite feature of the Limb Power gear drive is the sound it produces. My heart rate spikes whenever I hear it. Connected to the Limb Power gear drive are Ownboard's quick release hubs. Yes, Ownboard's quick release wheel hubs, designed and manufactured in-house at Ownboard. To my understanding, Limb Power and Ownboard collaborated on the wheel, and Limb Power agreed to share the general concept while Ownboard had to make some changes to the original design, kind of like a "you can copy my homework but make sure to make some changes" agreement. At its core, the quick release functions exactly the same as the Limb Power counterpart, with a few slight design changes, such as an unanodized silver finish, reinforced spokes, a flat back spoke profile, and, most importantly, a narrower wheel width. Imagine you're on the road and your tire pops. Normally, you'd need to get a 16mm hex nut tool and remove the axle nut, then remove the wheel from the axle and take out all the bolts holding the 2 halves of the wheel together with a 3mm hex key. But with this quick release hub, you don't need any tools. Just let the air out and remove the edge ring, which allows you to remove the tire and the inner tube. Pop in a new tube and you're done. No tools. If you're fast, you can do the whole thing in under a minute. Best of all, there's no need to bring so many tools and spare wheels on your rides. It's really amazing. These tires are the 8-inch off-road type, which are now widely used across multiple brands, and for good reason. They are extremely comfortable, have high grip, strong stopping power, and are somewhat resistant to punctures. Best of all, they're well manufactured, reducing the chances of ending up with a wobbly, unbalanced tire. Plus, when you own multiple boards like I do, the tires and inner tubes are all interchangeable, making the maintenance process much more streamlined across all your mountain boards. They simply feel like riding on clouds. Part of the reason the Prometheus feels like riding on clouds is due to its 11-ply deck construction, featuring 3 layers of triaxial fiberglass sandwiched between layers of bamboo and Canadian maple. Triaxial fiberglass is a strong, lightweight, multi-directional woven material used in high-performance applications for its enhanced flexibility and superior strength-to-weight ratio. The deck's construction is similar to snowboard manufacturing techniques and is reinforced with wear-resistant layers. The deck measures 960 millimeters in length and 270 millimeters in width. I feel the deck could be a bit wider, as my toes are just starting to hang off edges. You could have a lot more of your feet hanging off the deck if you have feet larger than mine. Also, holes. You'll notice rows of holes on the deck. These are for the bindings that's included. I'm sure you can use your own bindings if you want. These are pre-drilled binding holes for both standard and goofy riding positions. The brakes are way too strong out of the box. I had to jump off the board a couple of times because the wheels locked up and started fishtailing. Lowering the braking value from 85% to 65% solves this issue. The problem was that the brakes would lock up too quickly. I think I only pushed the braking dial up to 50% before the wheels locked. The solution is simple. Just decrease the braking power a bit. You can do this by clicking the power button 5 times to enter the adjustment menu. In this menu, navigate to braking power and lower it by 10% at a time until it feels right. The OLED remote is, frankly, a bit bulky. I feel like the handle could be slimmer. You might struggle to hold the remote comfortably if you have small hands or are wearing gloves. The finger hole is also too narrow to fit any gloved finger through. Overall, I appreciate the large screen and its easy-to-read brightness, even on sunny days, and the amazing remote start option. However, it does feel cheap. It works, but it just doesn't match the premium feel of the Prometheus. Function-wise, it's smooth and works perfectly. The dial is metal, but the body is all plastic, and personally I feel this cheap material detracts from the rest of the board's premium construction. Also, hey look, interface looks just like Ace Deck's remote, except I like that the screen position on the Prometheus better. It's just positioned in a more ergonomic way for riders to check telemetry data. The Prometheus carries a 1170 watt-hour battery, which is absolutely massive. If you ride in a relaxed manner, keeping under 20 miles per hour, you could get more than the rated 40 miles. I got 34 miles while testing exclusively in mode 4 and ran the battery until there was 1 bar left. The range of the Prometheus is pretty impressive. It also comes with a 5A gallium nitrate compact fast charger, which can top you off to 80% battery in 2.5 hours and 100% in 5 hours. One of the huge benefits of the Prometheus battery pack is the high resistance to voltage sag. The board still pulls hard even with 30% battery remaining. This is thanks to its 5P battery structure. The more parallel connections a battery pack has, the more amps it can provide, and the more amps it can provide, the more resistant it is to voltage sag. The Prometheus boasts a top speed of 37 miles per hour. Even with my current stable setup, it feels way too sketchy to hit above 30 miles per hour, so I'm going to leave that to someone else to test. But I can testify that even at 30 miles per hour, there feels like plenty of headroom left to accelerate. I will do a separate video on off-roading with the Prometheus, but for now, in my limited off-road tests, these MBS trucks are still highly maneuverable on grass fields and dirt trails. While other trucks leave their riders feeling they are no longer in control while off-roading, I was able to confidently control all aspects of the board easily even without bindings. The Ownboard Prometheus is truly an engineering marvel and shows when great players work together, they can build Voltron. I mean a great masterpiece skateboard. Since this is a review unit provided by Ownboard, I have to ask myself this question. Would I buy this board with my own money? The answer is a resounding yes. Between the passive voltage resistant battery pack, toolless quick release wheel hubs, limb power gear drive, MBS Matrix 3 channel trucks, binding ready deck, and the smooth Jason ESC, the Prometheus is ready to blast to the moon and back.